Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showing you how to rewrap Efnote drum pads. The internal trigger mechanism inside Efnote pads is quite involved and easy to mess up when you're putting it all together, so this will be a step-by-step guide. I've seen a lot of comments in Efnote Facebook groups and in other places bemoaning the fact that some folks can't get the Efnote drum or pad in the size they want, in the right color wrap or finish that they need, especially this particular 8-inch tom that I'm rewrapping today. So the idea is that if you rewrap it yourself, you can match the wrap on your black oak or white sparkle finish with an Efnote drum, or alternatively rewrap your whole Efnote kit in whatever color you want. ATV drums seem to have a very similar internal trigger system, so these learnings may also be useful for folks with ATV kits as well. I'm certainly not the first person to rewrap Efnote drums. Here are some other examples from the Efnote Facebook group and from Instagram as well. But I couldn't find any video tutorials, so this is why I've decided to make this one today for you. So after we've carefully removed the rim rubber protector, the hoops and mesh heads, it's time to very carefully remove the trigger housing. And by the way, this trigger mechanism is essentially identical for all Efnote snares and toms for the 5, 5X, 7, 7X, 500 and 700 series, so the same process will apply. Just note that the 3 and 3X drum pads are very different beasts, so have a look at my deep dive video on what's inside Efnote drums on my channel. So after I've removed the bottom lugs, I'm now using a hex key or Allen key to open up the top plastic plate that houses the head triggers. You'll see here that they're connected to the bottom plate, which is made of metal, with a short cable, so just be careful not to yank it out too hard when you're opening it up. So I've already unplugged the Molex plug, and next I'm removing the hex screws that hold the metal plate in place, which threads through the lugs on the top side. You'll note the piezos on this plate. These are for the rim triggers. With all the screws and lugs removed, I'm now gently easing the metal plate out of the shell. The input jack simply sits in a hole and should just pop out. I'm removing the tom holder bracket. This is attached with regular Phillips head screws. The two Efnote tag plates are also attached with hex screws that go through the shell. Now it's time to remove the wrap. I found that the adhesive is pretty strong, so I advise using a heat gun to remove it. Keep in mind that once it's off, it's never going to go back on. Heat guns kind of tend to, warp the wrap. Next up, just like in my other videos, I'm using 2 strips of good quality thin double-sided tape adhesive, and then we can cut and apply the wrap. If you've seen some of my other recent videos, you would have noticed that I'm slowly rewrapping my whole A2E kit with this turquoise sparkle wrap. If you want to get some like this or similar, follow the URL on your screen. Time to reassemble. I'm using a drill bit the same size as the lug holes to pierce the wrap, and then widening those holes with a step drill. Screw back in the lower lugs. Now we carefully ease the metal plate with the rim piezos on it, making sure that we line up with the lug holes. Then screw, screw, screw. Reattach the tom mount and the Efnote brand plates. Now I'm reconnecting the Molex plug, which joins the bottom plate with the top head trigger assembly. Next, poking through the input jack, through the other side, and doing up the nut. Line up the hex screw holes carefully and begin to screw it all back together. So I've decided to use plain chrome hoops which match the rest of my kit rather than the Efnote ones. These ones are from DW. Then the Efnote heads go back on. Finally, we reapply the rim protector. Maybe don't do what I did here and pull on it too hard though. I absolutely split it at the seam, as you can see, so just take it easy putting it on. So here we are with the final finished product. I'm really happy with it, and most importantly, you now have a step-by-step process of how to rewrap Efnote drums. If this was useful for you, please subscribe for more Efnote tips and tricks, acoustic to electric conversions, and more on aDrums.